Humor is a natural biological experience that can be used and perceived in many ways. Because of its instinctive form, both young children and animals can manipulate humor, and they can do so properly and effectively. Mainly, three theories have been identified through which humor is categorized, studied, and understood. The first theory is known as the relief theory, in which humor is viewed as a process of releasing tension. This theory focuses on the physiological phenomenon of laughter as a type of cathartic release.
Even in a tragedy, someone would still come up with a joke, and it would be like, no, we shouldn't really be laughing, but that is really funny.
The incongruity theory proposes that what causes something to be funny is the unexpected, unthreatening surprise element that is found to be humorous. For example, someone slipping on a banana peel.
You don't expect to find funny, but because of the timing and because of the way the comedian makes you think about it, are actually funny.
And finally, the superiority theory is the idea that the person laughing is perceived to be greater than the target. Each of these theories can be used to describe a certain usage of humor, and through each of these theories, humor can be used to unite or to divide human beings.
In recognizing the biological influence and social presence of humor, I sought to learn more about the transferable aspects of humor. I spent my May term studying abroad from Hope College in Holland, Michigan, at Liverpool Hope University in Liverpool, England, to begin to decipher this concept of comedy. If humor is present globally, as it is said to be and to have been for millenniums, what aspects of humor are transferable and which are culturally bound?
Shows such as Friends and The Office, among many others, have been popular in both the US and in the UK. So what do these shows have figured out to make them humorous within both and many other cultures? The expression of humor is a cross-cultural comedic component found in the US and the UK, and everywhere else for that matter. As mentioned earlier, animals possess a biological capacity for humor, and this capacity is innate in the human being, which is why even children at a very young age can demonstrate a proper understanding of humor and how to use it. Per the incongruity theory, confusion or surprise can be noticed even at a young age. So when something is different or doesn't line up in our minds, we find it humorous. While we all express humor and have the mental capacity to comprehend comedy, and these are the humorous components that transcend cultural divides and unite human beings, these characteristics do not tell the entire story of comedy itself. Differences of humor do exist across cultures, and the first characteristic to be addressed is the content. What is found to be funny in one culture may differ from another. Specifically, the comedic use of irony is very prominent in the UK.
British people always seem to be looking for the next opportunity to make a joke. Even in what would normally be considered quite serious contexts, like in teaching and so on, or giving a presentation.
And I think a lot of the best humour is about subtlety.
Additionally, cultures may have inside jokes regarding their society or the history that goes into it that an outsider may not be aware of or understand.
I suppose in the UK it's quite an inward-looking humour, really. It's quite difficult sometimes quite difficult for people from different countries to understand what the humour is about, because it's a lot of the jokes are about life in Britain.
It is more a cultural thing because sometimes you have to understand the background of something to get the joke. And sometimes he'd be like, well, why would this be funny? And we'd be like, well, it's something we've known for years and everyone knows it's funny, why don't you? And it's because he's not from here originally.
For example, if you're not from Michigan, you probably won't understand this joke, nor find it funny. You know you're from Michigan when you understand why November 15th is a school holiday.
If you're not from the state of Michigan or the Midwest region of the United States in general, You probably do not know that November 15th is opening day for deer season and also one of the school days with the greatest amount of student absences. A running joke exists in the area that schools and companies should just be closed on that day. But again, if one did not know the contextual background of Michigan or of November 15th, as many citizens of the UK do not, the joke would fall flat. Language, too, can lock people from various cultures out of another's humor, even if they're technically speaking the same language.
But a lot of it, I think, is in how you speak. So, or he doesn't get the, I suppose, like the lingo or the, he didn't understand why it's funny because he doesn't understand maybe the way we'd say certain words, and he wouldn't get why they're funny. But I think it's a lot of it, even though we both speak, Americans speak English, we speak English, there's still this language barrier because, and that's when you get into slang.
Finally, the context in which a joke can be made also varies culturally. When is the appropriate time to joke, and how does one use humor? A joke made at the club may be wildly successful, but that does not mean translating the joke to church is going to be the best use of one's humoral talent. A joke has its place, but humor is also a place we can go to discuss difficult topics more comfortably.
And sometimes the comedian says things that you would actually like to say, but you don't dare say them. Because he's the comedian, he gets away with it.
In conclusion, based on some conversations I've had with professors, students, and individuals living within Liverpool and the States, I've realized American comedic productions are more successful, while humor is more present in the daily interactions of Brits. However, both cultures have a sense of humor, and a similar sense of humor in their uses nonetheless. But humor is potentially present solely because of its ingrained influence in the human population. Yet often, jokes lose their comedic sense when translated to another culture because of contextual and societal backgrounds of the populations. I suppose it is now up for the cultured viewer to decide. Who's funnier, the Americans or the Brits?